Hi, I'm Sunny Chaparala.
Can't see what mic you
I could do it without the mic, you would not know the difference. I was told.
got.
So is it working or?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Sunny okay, don't stop.
I just started.
Okay. One more time, I'm Sunny Chaparala, running for Congress in the 24th district along with all of them. And so I'm a legal immigrant. If I have to sum it up, the reason I am in, I would think that I'm in for two reasons, which is President Trump's Make America Great Again or America First agenda, and which the part of all of his agenda that I like the most is the immigration thing. I am personally have gone through that. I've come here legally, I've stood in line, and it is very personal to me. And then the other thing is, this is a country I chose and I love this country, I'm proud of this country, and when I hear AOC and Omar and the other crazies like throw our country under the bus and they say such mean things and bad stuff that is not true, it makes me very, very angry. I wish more legal immigrants have stood up and stand up and say that it is not true, and I think I would be the best person to tell them to shut up, and that's exactly what I'm lying. And back to immigration, and I hope I'm mistaken. I thought some of my friends have said that there should be a pathway to citizenship. I would be extremely upset if that were the case, because so is that fair for me and my family? We've never been together as a family. We don't remember family dinners, so I hope that's not true. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let's move on now to the forum portion of our evening. Again, our panelists will be asking the questions. Each candidate will have the opportunity to answer every question. Your answers need to be 1 minute. Let's begin with Alzito.
Okay. Thank you again, everyone, for being here, especially the candidates and everyone else who's shown up on what's going to be a little bit of a cold night. So, first question. Please tell us how many years you have served in a governance position or business position, as well as what makes you qualified to be elected to Congress. Starting with
David. Starting with David.
Awesome. So the great thing about me is I've never been in the government. I'm not a career politician. I'm just stepping up when time in need for our government. And what qualifies me to be a representative, I've worked with different businesses, I've helped connect deals, I've worked the balanced budget, I've worked to help the community through nonprofits. I didn't make $1 from that. And I just wanted to serve the community and serve it correctly. And the best thing about this position is that we can support our president, Donald Trump, when we go up there and fight for what's right. So I'm super excited about it, and I'm qualified because I know how to lead. I know how to serve the community. I know what y'all want because I've met with a lot of y'all. And I've worked with a lot of y'all. And I've served in the community and met a lot of y'all through it. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
So,
I can't see. What color is it? Black? Black. You should be good. Just grab another mic.
Hello? Hello? This is my... Hello?
That's red. Take this.
Hello? Much better. Okay.
share that mic.
So the question about qualifications. First of all, I'm going to answer the question for all of us. We're all qualified. We're all constitutionally qualified, and we're all qualified because we're all successful. What makes me qualified specifically is the fact that I've been self-employed for 28 plus years. I've never had a handout from anybody. And if more people who are in public positions and in public office would have that attitude and come from that attitude, we might find ourselves debt-free as a nation instead of owing everybody in the world and then a few other worlds money. We're $23 trillion in debt. I'm debt-free. That's why I'm qualified to run this position, because it's a paradigm shift that is needed in public office, and a paradigm shift from the attitude of someone who does not incur debt unless they absolutely need it is what we need to take to Washington, and is what we need to spread throughout the rest of our country. Thank you.
The question was government and business, and I was with the government for 20 and a half years, but most importantly, I was responsible for lives. I managed budgets of multi-billion dollars in order to ensure our soldiers were trained, equipped, and ready to fight. And from a business perspective, I've managed businesses for the last 17 years. My own personal business is 2007, and working as executive for the rest of the time. I've also been a college professor, where I taught business classes and courses to our youths to try to get them up to speed. But most importantly, I come from one of us. As a business person, I know what it takes to get things done. And I'm dedicated to make sure this district and its people have a representative in Congress that is, one, the most important thing, conservative, and make sure his agenda that he's driving is within our conservative values. Thank you.
Same question.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to make it easy for everyone. If any one of you here believes that one needs to have governmental experience, you are not qualified, I'm not the person for you. Let's just be honest. I'm not. I've never had any governmental position as far as I remember, except block walking, which, yeah, it's not. Really. If you want more of the same thing, more and more of the same thing, I'm not the person for you. I'm completely an outsider, whether it may be good, it may be bad, but I'm just an outsider. Somebody who's been minding my own business, doing my own thing, and I started a job and came up to a place where I have two small businesses, and I am a successful business owner in my own way. So I'm results oriented and have a lot of drive, so I believe that's why I'm qualified. Thank you.
Last summer, 140 House Republicans joined with the Democrats to pass H.R. 1044 regarding visas. Big tech companies and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce lobbied hard to get it passed, claiming businesses should have access to an unlimited pool of foreign labor. Opponents claimed the bill will reward employers who replace hundreds of thousands of American workers with cheaper foreign workers. If you are in Congress, would you have voted for or against H.R. 1044, and why?
Julie, will you be mad at me if I ask you to repeat the question one more time?
I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
Okay, last summer, 140 Republicans joined with the Democrats to pass the bill. Big tech companies and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce lobbied hard to get it passed, claiming businesses should have access to an unlimited pool of foreign labor. Opponents claimed the bill will reward employers and replace hundreds of thousands of American workers with cheaper foreign workers. Would you have voted for or against it, and why?
Okay, so unlimited is the keyword, I guess. Or that's what I'm getting. So from what I understand, what Jaron said, usually if we are granting visas, it's already there. You can't just like grant a visa. Whenever an employer posts an advertisement, you have to show to the government that we do not have a person. I think there are 2 or 3 times where you have to advertise. Only when you do not get, you have to show this proof to the American government, and only then can you grant a visa, or a visa would be granted. So I'm not sure how different this bill is, and without knowing the entirety of the bill, just based on what was said, unlimited supply, no! We have plenty of people here that can handle jobs and who speak English. So, even though I don't speak as great of English as you do. So yeah, I think unlimited supply, no, again, because that is in the case of if we do not find anyone. But I believe in supply and demand, and the Austrian School of Economics, and I think we would always find somebody. Thank you.
Thank you. My question is, what is your position on red flag laws, and what circumstances, if any, would allow the government to remove the right to own and bear firearms?
Okay, so I am just like most of us here, pro-guns, and it was a hard decision for me, or hard opinion for me to come to, because I was raised in India where there were no guns. I've never seen guns until I came to the United States 18 years ago. As I understood the Constitution, as I was studying and started appreciating the Constitution, what I realized that they put it in the Constitution that this is a right, this is a God-given right. So any time when government comes in between a right that is God-given, there is no possible outcome that could be good. So having said that, there's no red flag laws, no laws, nothing, because these God-given rights are non-negotiable. These are not something where we can compromise on, because once they attack rights on guns, it is about, do you have the freedom to safeguard yourself or not? Do you have the freedom to protect yourself or not? That's what it boils down to. More than guns, that's what it comes down to. And all of our rights in the Constitution are non-negotiable, and so there, I'm not going to be compromising on that. Thank you.
Next question?
Yes, Ms. Jennifer.
Okay, so I think you are all pretty awesome people, and I hope that the ones of you who don't get this congressional seat, please consider running for another position, because we always need fresh blood and new ideas. And that leads me to my question. It's regarding term limits. So, you know, a lot of these congressmen get into their position and they're there for decades. And I think the American people would really like to see term limits in there. So my question is, are you in favor of term limits? And if so, do you have any ideas for getting Congress to pass them? Thank you.
Yeah, I think most of us are on board with term limits. I think everyone agrees, especially after seeing the House and all those people there who come and talk every day on the Democratic side. I sometimes wonder if they've kind of like lost it, and maybe that's why they speak that way. I know probably it's not the right thing to say, but I really wonder that. So yeah, we need term limits. So I'm so much in support of term limits, and because I love our Constitution and our founders and what their original intent was. I think the intent was always supposed to be like, this needs to be a revolving door where people, regular plumbers, electricians, builders, doctors, whoever, like everyone needs to go in and come out. And I believe in it so much, I signed the term limits pledge, and I hope all the rest of the candidates would sign the same. Thank you.
If elected, what would be your top 3 priorities for your first 100 days in office?
I believe that every new bill or law is an infringement on liberty, so I would hope none. With that, unless it is like with every new law, it could be a repealing of an old law. Having said that, the only things that if I have to, I would be supporting is President Trump's agenda, which is illegal immigration, which is on the topmost. But generally speaking, I would like our government to be smaller as much as I can. Thank you.
We are all, any Republican candidate is going to claim to be pro-life, including Kay Granger, if y'all have seen that debacle. But anyway, so we wish to stop the taxpayer funding of Planned Parenthood. Politicians seem to be in favor of defunding after they vote for the bills that fund it. Would you refuse to vote for any bill that provided appropriations to Planned Parenthood in either the bill or the amendments? And then here's the catch. For example, what if they added it to the farm bill, which no politician would ever vote against?
Okay, so if it's along with the farm bill, and I don't know that it was called as hijack, what's the thing? Hijack legislation. If that is the case, and if everyone is going to vote for farmland, then I would let all of them vote for that farmland thing and let that blood be on their hands, not on mine. So I would be no.
A very alarming number of young people coming out of our high schools, colleges, and universities seem to think socialism and even communism is a good idea. Should we be alarmed about that, and what can we do to remedy this growing attitude that this type of governmental structure is okay?
Yes, I am very concerned about socialism and communism and how kids speak about it. And the reason I think it's a concerning thing is when we were immigrating and we were filling out our application, there was a question about communism. If you ever went to a communist rally or something like that, and I was trying to say, well, there's somebody I know, Daddy, should I put yes? My dad told my application and said, don't you ever, ever, ever say the word communism in America. And he made me promise, swear. So I come here after 10 years and there's like, everyone's talking about communism. So I don't think kids realize that. And I come from India, which is not even like a pure socialist country, but I'm 10 years and I'm still waiting to close out an estate. And anyone who wants socialism, I would say come to India with me and let's go try. And if you like the DMV here, you would love socialism. I swear, because I swear, I love the DMV. I think it's awesome. I really do. I love going to the DMV.
Okay, so federal spending is out of control and debt is not a position of strength. We need someone who will go to Washington and fight to rein in spending. Would you be that lawyer for us and how? And also, can you give us an example of a moment in your life where you took a barrage of criticism and didn't back down?
Everyone agrees that we have a spending problem, not a revenue problem. A little off topic, but I wish history was taught because people like us who come here, we always hear that Americans are not into saving. Americans don't save. Okay, when I say Americans, you get the drift. I'm an American too, but but when I was like studying recently, actually no, 6 months ago, when I found out that frugality is an American value, I was shocked. I really was, because I'm going really, and then I went back and looked at all the founders who talked so much about frugality. Abraham Lincoln's letter, and somebody asked him for help and for a loan. So somewhere along the line, we went the wrong way. And if we went the wrong way, I think we can come back. It all started only in the 20th century, and most of you probably know what I'm talking about. So I'm very hopeful as far as did I face backlash? In my own way, every day, yeah. So not in any major level like Beth did, but in my own way, people get mad at everything I do every single day, including me being here.
This is a little bit long, and it's from the audience. This question concerns border security and immigration reform. As a Texas taxpayer and parent, not myself, but the audience member, and parent of a border patrol agent serving on the Tex-Mex border, this is a highly important issue for me. For example, in the first quarter of 2020, despite the dramatic drop in overall southern border illegal family crossings due to the Trump administration's Remain in Mexico agreement, the Del Rio sector alone apprehended illegals from 41 countries, including 30 from China, compared to 6 total Chinese aliens caught in all of fiscal 2019. The cartels continue to send groups every day, 10 to 12 adult males per group, equipped with cartel-furnished camouflage and supported in some cases by armed cartel guides. This has led to more aggressive behavior by the crossers, including 2 incidents so far this year where the Border Patrol agents were attacked and had to fire their weapons. Simply put, this problem isn't going to go away. In Texas, we have seen GOP congressmen take stances ranging from Will Hurd's literally liberal legislation approach to Chip Roy's staunch support of barrier construction and law enforcement. The question that the audience member has, my question for all of you, where do you stand on this issue? Are you a Will or are you a Chip?
Okay, is that a story or a question? No! It's like a GRE. I'm so sorry, can you like ask the question?
This is from the audience.
No, not the whole thing, but...
Okay, in Texas, we have, do you support...
Yeah, I'm sorry.
There's the liberal approach, legislation approach that Will Hurd has backed, and there's the staunch support of barrier construction and law enforcement that Chip Roy has been going down that road. The question is, where do you stand on this issue? Are you a Will or a Chip? Do you stand for staunch support of a barrier construction and law enforcement or liberal legislation?
That
in regards to the border.
big question. Obviously not liberal. Okay.
I think we have time for 1 or 2 more questions. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is an audience question that was texted to me. All of you agreed that we need to look for Americans first to fill open jobs. To have Americans to fill jobs, you need to be creating Americans. With birth rates starting to fall below replacement level for more and more demographic groups in America, it's no wonder people claim there are no Americans to fill open jobs. Families don't even exist in the same way they used to in America. What will you do with our government to promote stronger American families?
Okay, so I'm a conservative and we all are a constitutional conservative. So I don't think the government should be doing anything whether to expand or tell us if we need to have more kids or less kids or whatever kids. That's not the government's issue. And I'm not saying this because I have no kids and now Gerard and I have to have a fight because he thinks that because I don't have kids I'm not qualified. Who said that? And I have 3 dogs. But anyway, honestly, I don't think it's the business of the government to get into however nice it is, however moral it is. The government is not the moral police and we should be believer of a small government should not get it. Thank you.
All right, candidates, we're going to move on to our lightning round questions now. So we'll need you to pick up your flippers. You have a yes and a no. All right, audience, this is going to be interesting because after all of those words that they just spoke in this round, our candidates can only say yes or no.
Yes, straight out here.
Okay.
So I will be asking you a series of questions and please flash yes or no, but then we'll go down the line and we'll ask you to audibly say yes or no as well because maybe someone can't see this far. So we'll always start with David and go down the line to say yes or no, just to make it easy. Okay.
And I don't think you'll need to hold up your thing with it. It's green and red too, so I think you'll be able to know, but hold it up high and.
Right, but I would like an audible yes or no after I ask the question too. All right, here we go. Do you believe a state should have the right to limit or ban abortion procedures?
Yes, I'm sorry. Ban abortion procedure? They should be able to ban it.
Or ban abortion procedures?
Yes, it's a state's right issue.
Should the states have a right to limit or ban?
Let's do this one more time.
Thank you.
Do you believe a state should have the right to limit or ban abortion procedures?
And if that is true, the opposite would be true too, right?
Yes.
Listen,
I'm so sorry.
all you can do is say yes or no. Audience, do you need an audible yes or no as well, or can you see their flippers?
No, we can.
Okay. Vaccines. Some see them as essential. Others believe they carry dangerous side effects. Do you think a parent should be obligated to vaccinate their child?
Yeah, if you go to school,
That's it, yeah.
The U.S. government has the capability to conduct surveillance on its own citizens. In light of mass shootings and terrorism, some argue it's necessary to keep people safe. Should the government be able to gather information through whatever means necessary? Some think legalizing marijuana could stem the opioid crisis, while others believe it may further burden healthcare and the insurance system. Do you support the legalization of marijuana?
As a congressman.
Yes.
Correct.
State.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The last person to be executed by the U.S. government was in 2003. Is it time to abolish the federal death penalty? Do you support expanded rights for individuals who identify as transgender?
Present.
Congress has the power to...
Oh, sorry, what was the question?
Here we go. Congress has the power to impeach judges that have overstepped constitutional boundaries. Would you draft or sign into law such a measure? Will you fund a bill to put the military on the border?
I can't see,
If necessary.
I can't see,
Not just to do it, but if
is
necessary.
hers red or green?
I've been there.
The sunny.
Well, great, she's great.
If you
Oh,
could
oh,
hold it
that's
up
funny.
high, I
This
think
way?
some of the
Okay.
audience members are having trouble seeing your
Okay,
cards.
this way?
Hold
So
it straight.
raise them high and hold it up.
And straight.
Is that better?
Flush like a-
Okay,
She had it straight, but Julie couldn't read her.
okay. Are you willing to enforce immigration laws that lead to deportation? President Donald Trump has transformed the White House in many ways, one being his use of social media to communicate with the American people. Do you support the president's use of Twitter to communicate his message? Two of the last 4 presidents were elected to public office despite losing the popular vote. They were elected through the Electoral College, which is a key part of representative democracy. Do you think it's time to abolish the Electoral College? Have you read the U.S. Constitution in its entirety? Now recite it. Sorry. Should the current student loan system that often leaves students saddled with mounds of debt be restructured?
When you said restructured, help them pay back?
Like, in what way?
Well, they need to pay back, and that's the restructuring.
That's for the next debate. All right, now we're to the very most difficult question of the night. This is going to take some serious brain power from all of you. Do you foresee a Trump 2020 victory? All right, okay, with that, we close our lightning round. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, wait. We've got just a little bit more to go. Our candidates will now be allowed a closing statement, a 1-minute closing statement.
The reason you would all vote for me is because I'm funding my own campaign, so that's more money in your pockets. That's the one thing. And I have more skin in the game, so that tells you how serious I am about this. I have been putting my time, my energy, my money into it, and also I'm not taking any big money, not that they're offering me, but even if so, actually 2 people did, and I said no, because I like freedom, and I don't want to be owned by anyone, and I don't want to owe anyone anything. So for these reasons, I think I'm the best candidate, and again, I want all of your votes, and if anyone do not want to vote for me, please tell me why, so that I can sit and talk to you. Thanks, bye.